now? She seems so busy. Master said there's no rush, but I know that he's been busy working on something at Party's DI, so he hasn't returned to Gandharville for several days now. I feel for Madame Farazan, but But if I get her in trouble with the academia, then she won't have the time to help Master. But if someone does complain to the academia, and if the academia investigated, do you have some way to invite her over to Party's DI without stepping on the academia's toes? Okay then.
Huh. I have to teach students from Haravatat, or owe Kasharawar a favor. It strikes me that they might be even less happy about such a deal than I am.
I think I can sympathize with them.
Madame Farazan, we're back! Sorry for asking again, but are you...
Well, since you're asking me so sincerely, let's just...
Please, Madame Farazan, focus! Today's the deadline. Huh?
Why, that lad didn't make it very clear in his letter, now did he? Otherwise...
Yeah! That's right! Master sent us over to explain everything to you.
Wait. Opportunities for collaboration. Also, there isn't much overlap between Madame Farazan's research and that of Amorta, right? What will you even be collaborating on?
A fully automated...
A fully automated...
Precisely. It's a system that can I saw a similar mechanism while exploring a rune in...
A mechanism like that exists?
I found it 100 years ago, so it's only natural that you don't know about it. Why don't you go ask your teacher's teacher? Perhaps they've heard about it from their teacher.
But we can't prove its existence.
Fret not. I'll have Tainari write
an official proposal. I'll go inform my superiors now.
Sure. I'll be... Phew. I think she bought it. Even though this is our first meeting.
Wow! You made up that excuse on the spot, huh?
Who knows? It's been 100 years, so it wouldn't be too...
Huh?
I'll let Tainari worry. If I'm right, the request he has in store for me won't be any simpler than the academia.
What now? Master said there's no I feel for Madame Farazan. Yeah, that would be the best for them both. But I'm sure he'll say, the best thing you can... Huh? Oh, yes. This way she can get her... So if I also stay and help... that still sounds kinda scary. Okay, then.
I have to teach...
We're back, Madame Farazan. The Traveler said that he can stay and help...
Oh! Why, I couldn't ask for more. In fact, I'm rather curious about the type of person the Traveler is. You were the one who taught Azara a lesson after all. That said, will I be troubling you? Is that so? Good. It does so happen that I do have something I need help with. Now, should I apply to teach a course with Haravatat, or join the collaborative project that Kosharawar is proposing? Honestly, I don't want to choose either of them. I don't know if Tainari's told you about this before, but while my research involves learning about... I don't belong to Kosharawar, which specializes in researching mechanisms, nor am I in Spontamod, which specializes in researching energy flow. Instead, I'm part of Haravatat, which specializes in languages and scripts.
She has been invited to Kasharawar multiple times.
Just listen to how they introduce themselves. In the future, Kasharawar will be the only Darshan with the ability to research mechanisms. There's no such thing as exclusivity in knowledge. Besides, the current Kasharawar is more concerned about how mechanisms can be used in everyday life, while my research involves if they're trying to use the collaborative project as an excuse to have me reconsider again.
No, that's not it. The request the representative of Kasharawar recommended you to them, Madame Farazan. In truth...
Oh, respect? Oh, my. Putting aside my ideological differences with Ksharawar, I suppose I must acknowledge this attitude of theirs. At the very least, they're bounds above those decrepit Haravatat fools.
Yeah, Akara.
Well, since both...
In summary, Akara Crafts wants to design a series of early learning toys that will cultivate...
Early learning toy.
The academia agreed to work with them because they hope that these toys can help children become excellent
True. The current academia is in need of some new blood. If the children start learning now, perhaps I can find some time.
Madame Farazan, you still...
Anise, Kasharawar's representative, should be staying in the inn at Port Ormos. If you want more details...
Port Ormos? Now there's a place I haven't...
I probably can't join you since Port Ormos is a little far from here. I should probably go back.
No worries. Go do your homework, Kale. Once I'm done with everything here, I'll head over to Pardistii. Thank you. Why, I'd even call this a rare chance for a curious researcher like myself to observe the legendary traveler up close.
Madame Farazan! Oh, it's really you. Did you change your mind?
All right, calm down. Let me be clear. I'm still not all that interested in Ksharawar. I'm just here to see how After all, you're here as representatives of the academia in this collaboration. The reputation of all research is at stake here, so I will not simply stand by should mistakes get made.
Either way, now, we've given Akara Crafts many ideas over the past couple of days. However, their owner thinks that our designs are too complicated, which will drive production costs too far up.
That's expected. Students who have never had to deal with budgetary constraints probably don't understand how important it is to keep costs low. How enviable. Oh,
If you join the Ksharawar, your budget will be as big as you want it to be.
That's enough. I will not repeat myself. Take me to Akara Crafts owner first, if you please.
All right. He's usually at the slope up ahead recruiting volunteers to test out his toys. Momdu, the one I recommended is here.
Oh, so you're, Madame Farazan?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. We haven't been able to make it. We've made many suggestions, but Miss Anise thought that those ideas were too simple and wouldn't be effective in training the mind.
These early learning toys are meant to help the academia train future researchers, after all. If they're too simple, then how are they any different from regular toys?
But if they're too complicated, not only will they be expensive to produce considering our production capabilities, but they won't have much broad appeal to Sumeru's children either.
So the design can't be too complicated.
I remember that in your notes, many contraptions have managed to fulfill complex functions despite using simple parts. Maybe we...
The contraptions in my notes... I didn't create those. I simply took the contraptions in the ruins apart and analyzed. But now that you mention it, the ruins did have things like that. Do you have a pen?
You have an idea already? I suppose I should have expected as much of a... Oh, you're done already?
Let me explain. These 3 thick lines represent 3 poles. These paper strips of varying lengths represent rings of different sizes. They can be slotted onto the poles and stacked up like a tower.
Well, that is easier to make than I expected. So...
That's very simple as well. You just need to shift the tower from this pole to another pole.
Isn't this a little too simple?
Of course, when moving each ring, the paper strips in this case, you must follow one rule. You can only move one ring at a time, and you can't place a bigger ring on top of a smaller one. It's like building a tower. The rings in the 3 poles must be stacked from big to small. I named this toy.
Pagoda stack.
That sounds way too simple. Even I feel like it's missing something.
Give it a try and you'll find out if it's simple or not. I heard from
It's such a simple toy.
Momdu, let's just do as she says.
Okay, then.
And that's how you play this game. You can all give it a try. Let's see who's able to move the tower to another pole in the smallest number of steps.
You called everyone here for such a...
It doesn't look like it'll take that many steps.
Come on, we all promised to help Mr. Momdu test out the new toys. He said he'd give us new Genius Invocation TCG cards.
Ugh, fine. Let's get this over and
Done! It took me
Huh? It took me over 20...
I only needed 18.
Not bad. Looks like you're all familiar. Then let's increase the difficulty. The next tower will be 5 layers tall. Now then, give it a shot.
Wait, Well, since we're already here, why don't we just...
An extra layer shouldn't make it that much.
What's going on? I've already moved over 30 steps, but I'm still not...
I'm almost done.
Done! It took me...
What?
This pagoda stack toy is pretty fun.
Good. We'll try it one final time. This time we'll... Momdu, we've still got quite a few paper strips here. Why don't you give this...
Do you need that many steps for something this...
Madame Farazan, allow me...
You were looking at it quite seriously just now. Are you starting...
I...
If you want to test out your hypothesis.
got it.
Ah, we don't have enough paper strips left for you, Traveler. However, by the looks of things, you seem to have the game for— Why don't you guess what the lowest number of steps needed to solve a 7-layer pagoda stack is? What a shame. You were close. However, you did well for someone seeing Let's see how well they do then.
If I move this small ring, then the big one won't be able to go on top of it. Oh, this is going to take—
I've lost count of how many steps
It's got a lot.
I solved it!
That many? But there are only 7 layers.
For every extra layer in the pagoda stack, the move order you need to consider becomes much more complex, and the number of steps required will at least double.
More accurately, it will require double the steps, plus 1 each time. You did well. You didn't underestimate the principles behind it just because it's an— The complexity of any given contraption isn't determined by the number of parts it has. The way the parts interact and the rules behind how it operates are important too.
Oh, I see. No wonder you emphasized in your notes that no contraption should ever be—
I see. So even a simple toy can become complex.
That's right. The rules used for Pagoda Stack are the simplest kind when it comes to ancient— I could spend some time picking out all those machines that do something similar, and once that happens, you can give the volunteers the reference book.
Do you have any?
Yeah! When can we...
In about 2 days or so, I think. Anise, if—
Of course! I'd be—
2 days should be enough for us to find more volunteers. Then we can organize a huge conference here, at which you'd be most welcome. We need more people to get a healthy range of opinion.
Thank you for coming here with me today. I'll walk back.
Is Madame Faruzan really going to mentor me? What an honor! I'm sure she'll say helping with illustrations isn't mentoring. So, don't tell her I said that. Is Madame
No wonder she's so well respected at the academia. When I first saw her, I thought she might be unreliable because she's so young. Don't let her know I said that. Anise warned me about—
We need to wait 2 whole days before we get the new toy.
It might just be all reference stuff. It'll be a long time before we can play with the real toy.
Guess all we can do is play Genius Invocation.
I'll be going then. Say hi to Tainari and Kale for me if you can. Once everything here is settled, I'll make my way over to Pardis Di as quickly as I can. You want to ask why I'm unwilling to— Putting aside the fact that they're too full of themselves, I actually have no issue with their research methodology. After all, knowledge is either right or wrong. Superiority and inferiority do not come into the conversation. All researchers are just doing their best to shed light, no matter what corner of the unknown they shed light on. It's a step forward because I believe wholeheartedly in that principle, even if the others call my research useless. As long as the knowledge I gain from it is accurate, it could be, in the end. Useful and useless are concepts that shouldn't be used to evaluate. When I first started deciphering ancient documents, I didn't think about how it'd be useful to. That's why there's no need for me to join them to do useful research. I'd rather stay in Haravatat. It's much more convenient for me to access the materials I need for my research. Still, the funding that Kasharawar has offered me is so hard to get in Haravatat. Perhaps if this collaborative project goes smoothly, I can even ignore Haravatat and ask for a higher budget directly from the academia. Oh, I could come up with lots of ideas. With Anis's help, 2 days will be enough for our work. However, I'm still undecided as to the style of the reference book's You're right. If no one understands the reference book, it doesn't matter. It's better to make it simpler and fun so that children will be interested in the subject. It'll also make it easier for me to recruit students in the long run. Thank you. I'll take your opinion into account. See you in 2 days.
Oh, you're here. We're just starting to set up the venue.
We've called up everyone we possibly could have. This is...
My masterpiece is going to be exhibited after all. Let's see what the academia shall say about it this time. And if we activate this little mechanism, just a Sumeru rose will appear at the...
Oh, I thought it came out of thin air!
If the mechanism was bigger,
Then you can't use a cane. Could you switch it out with a hat?
You're applying what you learned creatively. Let's look at the next page. If you fold an origami bird...
Whoa. You can make a mechanism?
The principles at play are even more important than the parts that make up a mechanism.
These are pretty cool. I'm tempted to try them out.
I'm not that interested in toys, but if they'll be beneficial for children...
Everyone! We have paper prototypes and craft materials that you can use to make your own...
This is such a well-prepared event. I'll give it a go.
But we want to play...
It's fine. We have a lot of...
Oh! Professor Farazan?
Ahem. Just Madam will do. Maybe in the future, you may indeed get the chance to... You may wish to pay attention to these few details. Here for...
Wow! It really did fly farther!
Madam Farazan, will we learn origami at the... Of course you will. If you become a researcher, you can explore any field you like in the future if you want. You can even become one of my...
But Mom and Dad said that there are 6 Darshans. Which Darshan teaches about...
Well, in this case, it wouldn't be Haravata.
I know. We need to choose
Huh?
I want to attend Kasharawar in the future.
I want to make even more...
Actually, the other Darshans do have their own specialties, too. For example, Haravatat specializes in... Pay attention, children. Children? How did this happen?
What if we end up in a Darshan we don't...
No, that won't happen. Take me, for example. I'm a researcher. The only person able to restrict your curiosity as a researcher is you. It's all right. You still have... Let me tell you a story about pressure...
Per your wishes. Ready for reconnaissance. Transfixed!
The doctor will see you now.
Beg for mercy. More speed. Go on. Everlasting as the moon! Ah, something with which to commemorate this occasion.
Shudder! Into the shadows.
Beg for mercy.
Laid bare.
Crush! Beg for mercy. Freeze to the core. Crush.
Ready.
Overruled.
This is where you fall. Transfixed!
An impressive bounty.
Mind the side effects.
Witness my rise.